Well, I'm Tim and Joel calling in the ring. Joel, I'm sick. I'm tired. And I work with nothing but perfectly reasonable, boring, mature people.
Isn't it annoying?
Yeah, I need some wild cards in my life.
I'll be your wild card, Tim.
We'll see about that. I don't know. I don't know that you got it in you, buddy.
Maybe Trent Gibson and Frankie the Beast King can be your wild cards.
Frankie seems weirdly nice.
He does.
So nice, like way too nice for the gimmicks he can't commit to. He's
It's
nice.
true. You walking around with a snake around your head and giving it to kids, and the kids
Taking
is like
all of the photos. Like such a nice man.
He's very nice. Let's talk about. Well, first of all, welcome on in. Hi.
Hi.
The show is the one we do. It's almost the end of the year. We're almost going to change our time slot. We didn't specify, but we put it out on the internet. Hey, what time? I think we're going to keep Sundays, Tim.
Yeah, we're gonna try.
Tim's on his last legs.
It's hard.
It's soon gonna be Joel sitting alone in a room talking about
Joel
wrestling.
riffing for an hour.
Oh dear, here we go. All right. Well, until then, why don't you leave a thumbs up on this video and you can comment after the fact if you're not watching us live, but maybe you're watching us afterwards. You can also support us here at Fightful Overbooked. Subscribe to the channel, okay? Your super chats go a long way as well. I need to pay Tim if I so choose. So go ahead, drop super chat. Your question, your statement, we get read on the air. We give you our humble thanks, and we appreciate you, especially going into the holiday season. And we have an Overbooked Discord. Don't tell Sean Ross Sapp, even though we're also broadcasting this onto his Twitter. He doesn't watch. It's fine. It's cool. There's an Overbooked Discord. Don't ask him about it. It's okay. Tim. Eventually, that bit's going to bite us right in the ass.
Which one? The don't tell him?
The don't tell him.
Oh, okay.
He's going to find out about it.
I was exploring my tongue with the camera through your entire setup there. So.
I shouldn't have been looking at the camera. I should have been looking in your box.
It was pretty upsetting.
Yeah, I felt that way. You know what wasn't upsetting? Last night we were at Greektown Wrestling downtown Toronto. That was a fun show.
Yeah, it was a good time. Not at all upsetting.
What did we see? We saw. I mean, what was some standout stuff? I figured out who Jody's opponent was. Jody Threat had a match. It was originally supposed to be Silesia Sparks. For whatever reason, she was unavailable, Silesia Sparks. So Jody Threat went up against Smash Wrestling Women's Champion Nikita. That's who it was.
Oh, that's a shame. Nikita.
Well, Nikita had taken, I think she had taken almost 10 years off of the business. She's taken a bunch of time away and recently came back to Smash Wrestling. Well, so,
I mean, she was very good. It was fun. It was a fun match. Well, it really worked out well. It's a shame her name's Nikita and that's being used by a weirder wrestler.
Well, I feel like if the timing is correct and it was 10 years ago, maybe she was trying to do a La Femme Nikita thing.
Oh, yeah. That's fair.
Either way, they had a pretty good match. It started off a little rough because it felt like...
Yeah, because they had to do it last minute when Silesia couldn't do the show. So
yeah. There was some really fun stuff where Jody was tossed into the crowd, and then she kind of goes for a bit of a walk on her hands and knees, and then ends up at one of the VIP tables where they all have some drinks with them. And she grabs one of the drinks, powers up by having half of a drink. It was cute, and then she beat the shit out of Nikita. So it was less cute. It was more someone kicking ass.
It's rough. Got real rough.
Yeah, towards the finish. Yeah. Man, it looked like Nikita landed on her head. It was it's good stuff. You can find it on Fight Plus. It's $4.99 a month over at Fight Plus. You get a lot of stuff, including their entire holiday tour. Fight's not paying us to say it, but for $5 a month, it's pretty affordable for all the wrestling you get. So maybe consider subscribing. We had a good time. The main event was Channing Decker and Impact Wrestling champion Josh Alexander having a one-on-one match. It was supposed to be title for title. And of course, I turned to Tim and I said, I'm not going to give anybody the title. What are they doing? And they didn't do it. They had Trent Gibson and Frankie the Beast King, who had been in a match earlier in the night, come out and beat the shit out of both men. And then a very angry, irate Nug.
Angry was Nug. He was shaking, just rage coursing through his veins, dropping F-bombs. The children, Joel.
So we're sitting at this point.
Many children.
There were so many children. At that point, it was 5 o'clock. The children went home. They were all ready for bed. It was fine. We were sitting at this point over near the production booth. So where the camera was, where the commentary team was. Nug is also a commentator on the show. So not only is he Greektown's GM, he also happens to be color commentator. So when this whole beatdown thing starts with Trent and Frankie, he like throws off his headset and goes like storming out. And I turned to Tim, I said, I should go take over and just like play it up.
Just sit down. It's like, hey.
Nug said I'm in charge, so here I am.
He also, there was a staircase right there that he could have gone down, but he had to walk all the way around the venue in order to pick up a microphone before going down and
So
yelling at people.
funny.
It was pretty great.
The way that venue is structured and the way that like it works for them, but not for moments like that where he has to like go all the way.
Well,
around.
You know what works just fine? Have another microphone.
Have another microphone.
That costs so little to rent. Anyway,
even just from his perch, like have a camera shot
Yep.
where he just stands up and he's like, "I'm not going to take this," and like he's got a microphone right at the announce table.
One. Just have a microphone. I could lend him one.
Like, let's do that, Channing. If you're watching later on, we'll talk. We'll get you a mic.
We can hook you all up.
We'll get you set up. Either way, though, it was a fun main event. He made it into a tag team street fight, and of course, the champions won. What was really funny is that if you've ever been to a Greektown show or watched it, Death Taxes and Channing Decker's going to bleed. So he went through the entire Josh Alexander match. At one point, Tim turns to me and says, "It's not bleeding." Yeah. Well, he did in the street fight, so that's all that matters. What else happened in that show? What else was notable and fun?
It's good to see Frankie back. Period. He'd been off for a couple of them, so we were like, "Where's Frankie?" And there he was, being
it's
Frankie nice. With a different, slightly different appearance. Again, he had some gray face paint on this time instead of the big spooky skull mask, but he had the snake again, so that was nice.
What are they called from Game of Thrones? Are they called the White Walkers? Yeah, I think that's what he was going for.
Yeah, but with the snake, because he's the Beast Master,
the Beast King.
Sorry, the Beast King, because the other one is Frankie the BM, which is not very nice.
Oh dear, he didn't lay one last night.
Yeah.
You know what was really fun? Big Bill Collier versus Jake something.
Oh man, that was big. Oh man, there was one moment that was particularly special where I don't know what it was supposed to be, but it was just Jake something leaping very aggressively, groin first, into the face of Bill Collier. It looked like it was meant to be like a Lutez press, but it was just all crotch into the jaw.
It was Jake's something into the face of Bill Collier. Oh, two big men slapping meat. It was a fun match, though. There were these 4 women that I think we just dubbed
local moms.
These local moms were just having a ball. They loved every minute of it.
It was great.
We almost interviewed the local moms, but I think at the last minute we realized we'd be infringing on Sean's territory.
Yeah.
So we said no.
Yeah.
Hey, what about our interview with Cody Deaner?
That was nice. Good time. He had a good match. He wrestled Bhupinder. It was great. Very strong stuff. Bhupinder Gujar playing the role of Dum Dum Babyface during the match. That was fun.
So weird considering the last show we were at, Gujar was very much not the dumb babyface.
Well, he started as dumb babyface because he said, "I don't want to hit you," because he was wrestling a lady. It was an intergender match. And he's like, "I don't want to hit you." We spent 5 minutes doing that, and then the match ultimately ends by him viciously spearing the shit out of her.
It was very vicious. It's true. It was a good show.
It looked brutal. It was awesome. It's a good match.
Deaner gets the win over Gujar. It was a good match. Check out the interview that we have. It's going to be going up soonish. I spoke to Sean last night. We had a good laugh. Oh yeah, you should probably upload it for me. That would be a good helpful moment. Was there anything else from the show that really stuck out? Jock Sampson, of course, was fun. The intermission,
the parade of pins was something.
The parade of pins. Should probably explain what happened.
So they're raising money for Joe Doring, which is nice, noble, very fine. But also trying to pad Jock Sampson's win record at Greektown, I guess.
He's eaten so many L's, except for the last 4 or 5 shows he's been winning.
Yeah, or it's just laid it all on the line. The next loss, he retires.
Yeah, he's on his own last rodeo. He's doing the Mickey James thing.
Anyway, for $20, Jock Sampson will pin you, which I guess is appealing. To somebody, there was one woman who was extremely excited for it, very enthusiastic. King of the one night stand, Jock Sampson. Didn't have that jacket. Hasn't been singing that. Just comes out to his weird, trying not to be crude. It's a strange song with some strange lyrics.
It's a Ronnie Millsap song. It's called Stranger in My Bed. A Stranger in My House.
Stranger in My House, but functionally in my bed. Anyway, it's a weird cuck song. And it's like he walks out to it with pride. It's great.
It's good. Everyone loves it.
Yeah, I joked he was on that Jim Cornette shit. But like
he had a tag match with Santino Marella.
Yep.
That was fun. Santino did his Santino thing.
It was good. Yeah.
Santino does this one bit now where he comes to the ring wearing his glasses.
Yeah.
And then he's done this before. It's kind of funny the first time you see it.
It was funny the first time. It's weird the second time.
Yeah, so
especially as his vision magically corrects 10 seconds into the match.
So the bit is he's wearing the glasses and he does it for the entire intro and then whatever. And then the bell rings and then he eventually gets tagged in and the referee notices that he's still wearing his glasses. So he points to the glasses and says, "You want to give me the glasses?" And Santino's like, "Oh yeah, silly me. Ha ha ha." He takes off the glasses and then they try to do like a tie-up spot where they're kind of circling the ring and then Santino gets lost. And that's the spot. It's a comedy.
He goes to grapple the tag team partner on the apron. Yeah.
And then he tries to grapple the ref. It's a blind man spot. It's funny, but it's like you've seen it once, then there you go.
It's fine. He's in damn good shape, Santino. My God. Yeah. Like, bravo. Anyway, he threw his crotch sock at the child after the match ended.
It's a Cobra sock, okay?
Yeah, but where's he keep it, Joel?
Which Cobra does it lay on?
It's the skin that has shedded off a cobra that he then shoves his hand into and puts in your mouth. That would upset me. I'd just tap out before it even makes it to my face.
Anyway, there was a lot of good stuff. Go check it out. Go watch the show. We had a good time. We had fun. It's always fun when we get to go to Greektown. I'll be perfectly honest. We're getting towards the end of the year. I don't know about you, Tim. I'm feeling a little bit burnt out when it comes to a lot of stuff.
I'm so tired.
I was tired when I got home. I passed out so quickly. But either way, there's a lot of wrestling from the week to talk about. Let's start with SmackDown. Did you watch SmackDown from Friday?
Yeah, I watched SmackDown. Saw the SmackDown.
I don't even know where to start.
There were a few things. Happened.
I know, but like I feel like our thumbnail conversation should probably come.
I saw you took the cowardly route. We're talking about Bray Wyatt rather than my aggressive take on that last match by the Elite.
No, I don't, because you know what it is? It's two things. One, that conversation is well warranted for us to have about the Elite.
We will have it.
But every time we use an AEW thumbnail, our viewership is like,
oh no,
it's not good. Like,
it's good. Just watch Dynamite.
We're not consistent AEW talkers.
This is true.
If it's like, if you are someone who watches or if you're someone who does an AEW show, Tag Talk's a good example. They talk about WWE too, but like the most of their conversations revolve around AEW, and that's fine. Like, that's what they like. And as a result, they can use an AEW thumbnail and everyone just gravitates towards it. There's an understanding there. When we do it, people are just like, oh, they're just going to shit on the show. It's not always
That's
the case.
Not true. I love Dynamite.
But anyway,
there was a rough couple of months where, again, you centralized everything. Anyway, you centralized everything with one dude. He was going through a tough time. It makes the product suffer. That's what happens when you think that one person does anything. It's bullshit. It's a team, always, for everything.
Xia Li is a hooded figure.
Yeah, running around, attacking people. She tried to join Damage Control. Is that her angle?
No. So, okay. So it was Damage Control versus Tegan Nox and Liv Morgan for the women's tag titles. Which, by the way, like when they put together Tegan and Liv, I was like, oh, this is another team that like in 3-4 months will get a tag title shot and then break up immediately when one turns on the other. And then later that night, they showed the graphic, and I'm like, or it's happening next week. So
yeah. I think there'll be some interruptions. The Xia Tegan Liv thing might. None of them are winning that match. Tell you that the gauntlet. No, it's a gauntlet match, isn't it?
It's another gauntlet match. It's the Triple H special. When it
God,
comes to
I hate the gauntlet match. It makes no sense.
I get it in the fact that the depth of the SmackDown women is not there yet. So he continuously has to build these. Well, no, because who can you build as Ronda's next challenger?
They are
right
building
now.
Raquel right now as
But
Ronda's next challenger.
yeah, but how do you get Raquel to win those matches and get her in time?
You keep
do a
going
stupid
her.
gauntlet. You make her look
She does
strong.
silly power bombs with one arm.
Anyway, so yeah, so they're doing the World Women's Tag Team title match, and a hooded figure comes and kicks Tegan Nox in the head, and then they end up losing the match. During this whole thing, the internet sleuths are just like, look at her hands, they're not white. Look at her butt. I know that butt anywhere. I swear to God, these are things people said. And then you know what got people to figure out who it was?
It was revealed on a WWE
Before
social
that.
channel.
Her shoes, Tim.
Oh, her shoes.
Someone figured out they found the shoes, and the internet sleuths found an old Instagram photo, which I guess, I don't know, had the same shoes, and they said it's Xia Li, and I was like, oh my God, I can't believe they got it like this.
Didn't they put that thing out like 20 minutes after it happened though?
Then they did the reveal.
Just be a little, who cares? I don't care.
How did you feel about doing the reveal on social media? Did that bug you at all? Like, did you want to kind of wait for it?
Because I also newsflash deleted my Twitter because it's toxic horse shit. So, but I did see it on Instagram, and it's fine, I guess. I don't know. I don't like it. Tell the story on the show, as far as I'm concerned. But
so I don't think a lot of people really realize that SmackDown for next week was also taped this past Friday in Chicago.
Oh, so what? Like, I mean, yeah, that's the other thing I should think of. Like, they're just going to show me next week. Like, it's fine. Yeah. I don't care.
And on top of that, they needed an excuse to put Xia on the show.
Yeah.
Between now and then, and this was kind of their way to do it, because it wasn't gonna just they weren't gonna do something backstage for next week that gets her into the gauntlet. So this kind of just reintroduced Xia Li as someone who did something for an excuse to get into a little mini feud with Tegan Nox and presumably Liv Morgan as well. I don't hate it. Again, I'm much more a fan of Triple H setting up smaller little feuds amongst the women that aren't just for the title. Ultimately, I want these people to want to win titles, but I also want them to feud over,
other
you
things.
Hit, I want to fight you.
Bags of cash. Like, there's tons of reasons to fight.
Ladder matches with bags of cash.
I don't know. The thing is, they're doing this and they're building it around Tegan Nox, who, like, I don't know all that well. I didn't watch NXT so much when she was around. So far, her entire personality is the word shiny, which is nothing. And it is irritating the hell out of me, because, like, I hate hearing the shiniest wizard thing, because it's meaningless. Like, it's gibberish. And, like, I don't give a crap. Like, someone has to tell me what her personality is. I want to hear her cut a promo. Like, I don't. Shiny is not a personality. Like, it's very boring to me.
This was a major problem with Tegan Nox in NXT as well, in that her persona was, I'm the shiniest wizard, and people will be like, what's that? She's like,
what does that mean?
And then she's like, I really like Brie Larson as Captain Marvel. I think she's an inspiration.
I don't know what I don't give a shit about Marvel at all. So I also don't like.
And then they're like, oh, here's a video of me and Brie Larson working out because she's Captain Marvel, and I like Captain Marvel and Brie Larson. So
not a personality. None of this is a personality. It's other people's mediocre art. Like,
some people are sitting there being like, yeah, but what are you? And that's been the Tegan Nox problem, is what's your character? Who are you? What are you doing?
I'm excited for that. Liv has more of a personality, and she's hardcore.
And that's fine. So the Tegan Nox thing is understandable that people are not super bought in.
Like, why would I be excited for her return when she has zero identity? Like,
and again, as long as you kind of understand that not everyone that's coming back is immediately vying for a title, like, it's adding depth, and that's fine.
They need people. I don't have an issue with it. You just, like, you need to work together and establish a character. Like,
and honestly, her reintroduction, it didn't even have to be a run out to the crowd. It could have been Liv Morgan needs a tag partner, and she's like, well, I have a friend. And then Tegan Nox walks into frame, and it's like, oh, she's back. And people would be really excited for that too.
Yeah. I think that would have been fine. Yeah.
Anyway, we're going to talk about the what do you want to do? The Ricochet match, the Ricochet and Gunther match?
Yeah. You know what? I think Ricochet has improved quite a bit on the mic, at least when he's able to be produced like that. Like, I thought his little package was decent. Like, I think he's more interesting. He's just, like, a dork guy, which is funny, but he's damn good in the ring. So it's like that's a person, like he's getting a personality like that I am starting to see, and it's like it's a weird personality. It's like Rock with the gold chain and the turtleneck. Like that is his personality, which is it's intriguing to me. And to watch like this little like try hard go up against Walter and then put on a banger of a match, like it's working for me. I like what they're doing with Ricochet. I like that he's getting some shine. I don't feel that it is absolutely vital that he have a mouthpiece anymore. I think he's getting there. Like I think he just needs more screen time and like something to go for. So
I think Ricochet's character is that he's just a giant dork.
Yeah, which is fine because he is. It's a shame his name is Ricochet because that's also nothing. Like it's just like okay.
What do you want to call him, Trevor?
No, is that his real name?
That's his real name, Trevor.
Yeah, let's not call him Trevor.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. The promo that they did where he's walking around Vegas and he's like, "My time." It's good. So
my time.
My time now. And Triple H is just like, yes, it is. The promo was good. I harken back to when he had a match against Brock Lesnar very randomly in Saudi that one year, and they did the whole spread for him. They did a chronicle on WWE Network. They gave him all the airtime. They gave him every opportunity. They gave him new gear. They did a whole thing, and then Brock beat the shit out of him.
Yeah,
that was that.
Well, that's the Vince booking, right? Like
right. This time they took a similar route, but instead, when he got up against the big man, he gave a good fight. And he also, had a reason to go out there and fight. And he wasn't just like, this year is my year and I won't let Brock Lesnar get me down. No, he didn't pull that shit. He said, this time I'm gonna bring the fight to Gunther.
Yeah.
He never said I'm gonna win. He kind of, he did, but he was never like, it was never obvious the way that it was with Brock. Gunther still won, of course.
Yeah, of course. But I mean, like he looked tested. And it was a damn good match. Gunther looks like a beast. Like, and the package for them as well, like Imperium was also excellent. Like it's just this.
Yeah,
he is scary as hell, and like they've kind of cleaned up that mess they made with the Braun running away scared thing. They're still running away scared, but it's less. He just had a match. Like.
And it's exactly what you and I were talking about when he lost in the World Cup for Braun Strowman. It was Ricochet wins so that Braun Strowman can be Mr. Best Friend that eventually faces Gunther.
Which is like, I'll criticize Tegan for it. I'm going to criticize Braun for it. Big Dum Dum is barely a personality. Like
he's big beef.
No, he's just Big Dum Dum. Like he's just a dumb guy. Like it's literally the Shane McMahon, like, you're a dummy. No, I'm not. Yeah,
that was my favorite, by the way, with him. You're dumb. This is my brother, Brain Strowman. Do you remember? Oh my God. Okay, no, you don't remember. So on We Watch Wrestling podcast, this is something that Matt McCarthy does all the time. Whenever I hear Braun Strowman, I think about Matt McCarthy's version and just over the top voice that he gives Braun Strowman. He gives him the big beef voice and he makes him sound like this. And every time I hear Braun Strowman, that's the first thing I think about. I'm just the big dummy I am. And so that's Braun Strowman's character.
100%, which is, I mean, just seeing him run around is fun, I guess. Choo choo.
Yeah, they brought that back. People be calling for Triple H's head, and I'd be like, "No, keep doing it.
Keep doing it. It's so dumb."
Let's go. So anyway, it looks like Gunther and Braun.
That's where we're going. Yeah.
If it's early in the year, that's fine, and it's gonna get us closer to this reported match of Brock versus Gunther. Did you hear about this?
Oh yeah, I did. That does.
I think that's a fun match to do, and there's a story there, right? I don't think Brock's ever won the Intercontinental Championship. So Brock can be like one more for the mantle.
And I hope that would be great. That'd be a great way to pass the torch, as Brock should do soon.
And I think that's true. I think Brock needs to put over a new big man. And I think he's coming closer to being like, it's my time, because Vince isn't there to like cater to his every whim and give him every doll. Well, if Vince gets his way, maybe he will. But as of right now, it doesn't look like, Vince is going to be there for Brock's next contract negotiation.
Yeah.
So I would like Gunther and Brock, and I would like Brock to play ball which I think he will if he likes
I think he will
Gunther.
too. Yeah, he seems fine.
We'll see what happens. Let's just go right into that main event. Unless you want to talk about the hit roast.
No, there's tons of stuff to talk about. SmackDown was huge. We had Uncle Howdy. We had LA Knight.
We're getting there.
That's not the main event. What are you talking about?
No, the main event was the Roman Reigns promo and the John Cena return. And yeah, that's my main event. And then we'll talk about the main
the
event.
actual good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Roman thing was fine. John Cena was charming as John Cena is. He came back. He's going to do a match. Last possible second.
I don't think Brock ever won. No, Brock never won the Intercontinental Championship.
I do vaguely recall him holding the IC title with Heyman when he was just a boy.
No, you're thinking of the old Undisputed Championship. It looked like the Intercontinental Championship.
Yeah, I think you're right.
But he's never.
Because they pushed him to the moon like immediately.
Lesnar lost to Van Dam in a WWE Intercontinental Championship match by disqualification. So he's never. No, that's it. That's the only time. So he's never held the Intercontinental Championship. Anyway, Roman comes out. He's with the Bloodline. The whole story was, hey, Sammy, go get cut up so that you can get your big deal.
Womp womp. He comes back and he's just got a top knot.
I think this was a tease.
Yeah.
I still think it should have been. He comes out looking like Jimmy.
Just dye your hair. All he needed to do was do the red highlight or something.
Red. In his beard and just make it look So he doesn't do. He got himself cleaned up. I mean, listen, the top knot looks good. He's channeling his inner Daniel Bryan or Bryan Danielson. His inner Tommy Dreamer.
Yeah,
I know, right?
I mean, it looked more like that than Daniel Bryan.
That's fair. His inner Seth Rollins. Anyway, so he's dressed up. He's got the suit on. He's got the honorary use shirt, and he's being told like you're gonna be made an oos tonight. And Roman's like, I didn't say that. And then eventually they're gonna make this a match. Pierce comes in and says we'll do a tag match, KO and a partner of his choosing versus Roman and Sammy. And I'm like, this is great. This is gonna be top of the line fun. And it turns out that it's going to be John Cena. John Cena cuts the most like self-aware promo ever in his aging t-shirt and jorts, and just so stupid and so silly and so much fun.
Yeah.
What did you think of the John Cena promo? What do you think of him coming back, even if it's just for a night in December? Let's say it's just that and not a Royal Rumble appearance. How'd you feel about that?
I think that's great. I think that's just the right amount of John Cena. I'm good with that. He's got a nice little acting career. I think he's better at that than he was at wrestling.
He certainly hasn't cooked the books on his latest endeavor in film.
Oh man, what's he been doing? Feel like
Peacemaker?
Peacemaker is great. Like it's one of the few. Yeah, I'm not a big superhero guy, and I like the kind of irreverent, like taking the piss superhero stuff. So Peacemaker.
He was one of the stand-ins in Avatar.
Oh, that sucks. I ain't gonna watch that.
He was Avatar.
Oh,
I haven't seen Avatar, so I'm just gonna assume.
Doesn't matter. You don't need to see Avatar. Nobody does.
My dad was
giving James Cameron money for bullshit.
Dum.
He's just gonna go in the ocean again. Like
that's right. My folks are coming to town, and my dad was like, "Hey, maybe we'll go see Avatar," and I'm like, "Maybe we won't."
Maybe we won't. Yeah.
But anyway, So John's back. John Cena's coming back. Him and KO. I mean, I like the promo. It was, like I said,
it was great. It was so charming.
If this is an opportunity for them to maybe have John Cena in the Rumble, or here's my thought process. The brand split is soft and it doesn't really exist anymore. Austin Theory clearly wants that match with John. So does Logan Paul, but who knows who's getting it. Because Austin Theory is technically a Raw star, he now knows exactly when John Cena is showing up. So if Austin Theory wanted to go after John Cena after that tag match, this is an opportunity for him to start that storyline.
Yeah. They can fight for the U.S. title, the most John Cena of titles.
If there's a WrestleMania where John Cena fights for the U.S. title and Brock Lesnar fights for the Intercontinental Championship,
like what is happening?
And then meanwhile, the main event is Cody versus Roman Reigns.
I think I
guess it's Rock and Roman.
It would that would all undermine the work Triple H has been doing to try to bring these titles back to like relevancy. So I don't think that.
I don't necessarily agree with you because if
these big guys want them.
Well, no, because if Brock puts over Gunther and Cena puts over Theory, then you basically just wrapping up the careers of these guys who were going for titles. You can use them for nostalgia pop.
That's fair. Yeah.
you can make these guys, but it really comes down to how you book them. And if you do these matches, you can do the Cena in theory match at Royal Rumble. And
yeah, okay. I was about to say space them out. I don't need to see like.
Yeah, and honestly, you can do Cena and Logan Paul would probably be a lot of fun at WrestleMania. Like that's more of a WrestleMania match than anything.
Yeah, it sure is.
Yeah. Hey man, don't sleep on that Johnny Knoxville Sami Zayn match.
It was fun. That
was the match.
That was a lot of fun.
So let's talk about the real main event. Let's talk about the thumbnail.
Oh yeah, that is the thumbnail. My God, I am not on today. My brain is.
That was me yesterday.
Like, we're not going to talk about it. Oh,
we are absolutely going to talk about it.
We got to talk about Top Dollar falling, like narrowly escaping his own death. He nearly
He's fine.
Yeah, he did a damn good job, and he was like, "Let's go." Okay, didn't die. Very close though.
Should have tried it in practice. What did you think this was like a springboard? What are we doing here?
He was trying to do like a weird tope thing. Like I don't know. Anyway, it was great. It was great watching BFAB look on in horror.
Yes, and then afterwards be like, "Yeah, that's my boy." Be like,
yeah.
Listen, good on them for hyping each other up despite
it was
the
good.
move. It's fine. Listen, I
like
that
did great with that too. They're just like, well, maybe
that's
take
why he
that
doesn't
back
do
to
it
the
often.
lab. This is why he doesn't do that. Yeah,
and it's fine. I think everyone had a good laugh about it. People who are getting weird about it be like, "Oh, Top Dollar, you suck." Like
I like Top Dollar. I don't
so
like. He does quite well and is a good big man. Like leave him alone. He's not meant to leap over the ropes.
Exactly. He you know what? He releases these little freestyles on Twitter and Instagram, whatever. Some of them are good, some of them whatever.
The nature of freestyles. I mean, listen to Lil Wayne. Some of them are good, some of them are not, because he's maybe present half the time.
Oh yeah, because the rest of the time he's just going, yeah.
Well, and high as hell on codeine syrup.
Okay.
There you go.
What? Sorry.
Yeah, pretty much.
Oh God. Okay, so LA Knight comes out and he's yeah.
He's pissed off and he's got his best creepy circular shades.
It's creepy. It's true. Actually.
He looks like the guy from the Nightmare from the Neil Gaiman thing. The Sandman. Yeah, he does. Like the guy with mouths for eyes or whatever.
So earlier we saw, like, just before he comes out, they show the video of the TikTok video of him being, they put the mask on him, they kidnapped him, they put
or whatever.
Yes, he's being tortured or put duct tape on his mouth, and the whole time that he's like got the duct tape on, it's just like whenever Bray asks a question, he's just whatever not Eric Young, sorry, I read the chat. Whatever LA Knight is saying, I just think of him saying.
It's like, what was happening there? And then they just let him go. Like, I don't understand. That's the one thing that WWE does quite a bit, where it's just like they put someone in mortal peril and then they're just fine and there's no explanation. Like, why would you kidnap and tie someone up? No. Yeah, no. I thought he was doing the same thing, but if you listen to the cadence very carefully, it's more of a Lil Wayne, yeah, because he does still say yeah, because he is Lil Wayne as well. But Lil Jon is like, yeah.
I'm also very white.
Yeah, there's that. There's no escaping it. It's an insurmountable obstacle when trying to discuss this.
Yes, it is. I'm not the right guy for this.
Yeah.
So LA Knight comes out, yeah, and he
different. Yeah, we can do that. Yeah. Yeah.
And he comes out and he's just ragging on Bray. He does a perfect Bray Wyatt impression. I know the guys
so perfect.
Public Enemies podcast. They got it. They capped it. They put it out there. Perfect. So good. And out comes Bray Wyatt, and he's just like, I didn't do it, man. But if you want someone
up the wrong tree, man.
Yeah. And all of a sudden, LA Knight just beats the shit out of Bray,
stomping a butthole in him.
Yeah, stomping his ass.
This is after LA Knight degrades into a weird broken loop of Yari. He's just like, yeah.
That's how he copes. That's how he copes with his.
It's the trauma of whatever the trauma happened to him like last week.
And so they do they show Uncle Howdy on the Tron, and he's doing the whole, little
I
pig.
Didn't even catch what he was saying. It was like inarticulate.
So little pig, what have you done?
That was it. The little pig thing.
Yeah. And then out comes what I can only explain to you as Colonel Sanders and P.S. Michael Hayes' love child.
And also just like a bloated corpse.
Very much so.
Like,
although I will say this, when you get a proper view of what the Uncle Howdy character is wearing, like that's actually kind of cool. Like the studded lapel on the collar, like there's some cool looking stuff. It's stupid. It's
it
silly,
is a
but it looks good.
confused look because he's also got a crown of thorns, and it's just like, Jesus Christ. Like,
oh yeah, no, the crown of thorns shit is dumb. It's
this
dumb.
is like what's the overwrought is the
Yeah.
perfect word of what, because then it expresses exactly what this is, and it is overwrought. And this was, do you remember when we were talking about Bray Wyatt's return? There's his crown of thorns. He's got his weird twig mustache.
He's okay, so he's got
is that
on
a gator skin glove and a gator skin blouse?
Like, the shirt is a gator skin, but he's got the bow tie, and then you see the collared lapel has the studs on it.
Yeah.
Crown of thorns, that's stupid as hell. I agree.
Oh,
got
and then
the
he's got a
white
weird minstrel glove on his left hand. Okay, sure.
Yeah, he's got the white glove. I don't know what who's he targeting here. He looks
I
like
don't know. He's also got
Colonel.
bleach blonde hair.
It's
Like-
the Colonel. I'm telling you, man.
This is odd, and I don't know. I have such mixed feelings about it because I love LA Knight.
Yeah.
And he's doing a damn good job, and Bray's doing decently.
It's actually a really good point. Sorry.
Yeah, pretty much. So, okay, what was the title of this you put? It was well paced or
well paced or is it dragging? Because we've been watching this since Extreme
so it's
Rules.
both. It's not both. Okay, it's like it is not well paced. The story is on the upswing again right now, despite the massive narrative holes. But it's pro wrestling; you can't expect too much. Like it dragged for a good long while. The last few weeks, it has been back on track, and like I think that meeting it out in this slow pace is still the right call. It was too slow when Bray was literally cutting the exact same promo like every week. That's too slow. This, where a little bit happens every week, I'm fine with that. Like, I don't need it to be this big dump of information one week. Like, I want it to keep happening slow. I'm okay if this is a multi-month build. I like just hearing LA Knight talk as much as possible. So, yeah, I think it's fine. Uncle Howdy is a weird concept, and I'm still open to it being okay, but I'm also still like the same concern I expressed when Bray Wyatt came back and saying this is his make or break, and the proof that like whether or not he was being creatively stifled or he just didn't have good follow through is still up in the air, because like this is such a strange character with such a like corny, overwrought premise. It could go either way still. It could be genius or it could be absolute crap.
Did you? Okay, no, you're not on Twitter, so you didn't.
No, I'm no longer on Twitter because it's
Rob Fee, who is the director of Long-Term Creative and does a lot of the work with Bray Wyatt in this story. Something he never ever does on Twitter was say, check out SmackDown this week. It's going to be worth it. If you had read that on Wednesday and tuned in on Friday, thinking, okay, this guy told me it was going to be worth it. Was that reveal and that storyline beats, was that worth something like that? Because this is a guy that many people hold in high regard.
I think so. Because now, like, with that little bit, they're now showing that Uncle Howdy is not merely like mental break of Bray. Yeah, like it is a separate physical entity. And like, you know, they could still go back on that. Please do not. Like at this point now, you have committed that it is separate from Bray. It is another person or thing. So that's fine. Which is like, that is significant because everything from Bray before was not like, it was like the Fiend and Bray Wyatt were the same person. So it's showing that no, this is new. This is different. It's not the same type of thing. So
that's a really good point. I didn't think about the whole, like, the Fiend was Bray Wyatt and it was very well known. Like that was, you knew this. You're right. This time it was very easy to be like, oh, it's Howdy. It's just another version of Bray.
Which, because it was for weeks, it was Bray feuding with what felt like himself, right? Like he was just on the Tron and just going back and forth between his tormented mind. Like, oh, I'm a violent man, but oh, I'm trying to be better. But like now you're seeing, no, there's this actual weird dude dressed up like Jesus, Uncle Sanders corpse. And yeah,
The Colonel. Yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna look forward to in this feud, because eventually Bray's gonna have to have a match, and there's this whole there was this whole story that came out about a trademark about doing a it wasn't a lights out match. It was like a dark something match. Louis Dangor got the scoop on it, and they were talking about doing this, and it was presumably Bray's match. Pitch Black, that's the one. Thank you, Aiden, in the chat. Would you do a gimmick match for Bray for his first match back, or would you do a traditional match with LA Knight that eventually ends in spooky scaries?
Yeah, I think I would prefer if they give it some time. There's no stupid red light, and they have like a bit of a match. Again, like I don't think that Bray is like the most incredible in-ring performer. I think his strength is on the mic and in storytelling. So like I'm okay if they end it with some schmaz and some spooky stuff. But do the moves, do a few moves, let LA Knight show his talent, like, you know, get that in there. And have it be Bray a human being, because again, like it doesn't, like Bray can have this cloud of supernatural around him, but him as a wrestler still needs to be human, because as we've seen, when they make him supernatural, it gets really hokey really fast.
Yep. And that's wrestling. That's just wrestling in general. Not even a Bray thing. When you start getting supernatural, like you can argue that the Undertaker stuff was hokey as hell. But at the time, I think people were so entranced by what wrestling was becoming, because it wasn't the same hokiness. It was a developing hokiness, kind of like Star Trek was, right? Where people were into it, they were willing to suspend their disbelief, as they say.
Exactly, because they also did compelling in-ring adjustments to deal with that. Like with Kane, they had Inferno matches. With The Undertaker, they had the Buried Alive stuff. Like, you know, they innovated the product to suit that type of character. It becomes challenging with Bray. They have done interesting things. I thought the Firefly Funhouse thing with John Cena was actually quite good. Like I enjoyed that a lot. Yeah. It's just like, when you introduce a spooky thing, you have to get really, really creative with how you do the in-ring, and making it hard to watch because the light is a dim red, which cameras really struggle with. Like it's not the move. A big stupid hammer is not the move.
The big stupid hammer. They're gonna call back to that thing, and it's gonna be the funniest, stupidest thing.
Yeah.
And people are gonna pop, because it's not gonna be the finish to a match. It's just gonna be the stupid hammer shows up. They'll bring back the Fiend for like a 1 minute, cameo.
Yeah.
And he'll have the stupid hammer, and someone will laugh at it, and that'll be that.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. They're still dropping the ball on some things. Like, I don't know what the hell happened during the end of this segment, but it was just weird, like Uncle Hee stuff for a while. Like he just laughed for like a solid minute. Yeah. Like, I don't know if they were meant to cut sooner, or they were ahead of the beat. Like,
it felt like someone was looking for a cue is what it was.
It was awkward as hell. Like it was just so long and nothing changed and it didn't evolve. And it's like, I guess it's just really laughing. It must have been cacophonous in that arena, just all of that just reverberating laughing actually reverberating in the arena. Like
I have it's kind of an internal thought process I've been going through. So when Uncle Howdy's face, reveal happened weeks ago, I remember Sean was saying that it was going to be, or that it looked a lot like Barry Windham, right? Who's Bray's uncle. And of course, Windham is going through some issues right now, some health issues. And he seems to be okay. He's out of the ICU, and he seems to be okay now. But the face looked like Barry Windham, but then they did the stupid guy on the laughing on the thing this past Friday. And that was very like Ted DiBiase.
Yeah.
And Ted DiBiase, of course, was Bray Wyatt's dad's handler when he was IRS, when Shyster was around, Erwin R. Shyster. I'm wondering if they're trying to make this weird, like, oh, it was supposed to be this guy, but then he got sick in real life, so now he's going to look like, this guy. He's going to look like.
We'll see. I don't know what's happening. Like, we'll see.
I don't think it's Bo Dallas.
Everyone's so confident with these statements.
Stop it.
Like,
Stop with this Bo Dallas shit. Stop it.
That man should not be employed. Like, he let
I
him be
swear to
on the
God,
farm and be crazy. I don't
this
care. Like,
it wasn't Bo Dallas in a costume this week. I swear to God, it was just
unless he
Michael
got real
Hayes.
thick. Like,
Michael Hayes was just sent out there, and they said, keep the fanny pack on. You can wear it underneath. Don't worry about it, Michael. And then they put everything on, and they sent him out, and they just said, go do whatever you do, Michael PSAs. And he's like, I'm going to go act like the Colonel. And that's what they did. That's all it was.
so weird. We'll see. I don't know. They are teasing Alexa too, and I don't
Alexa
know
is
where
Uncle
anything
Howdy.
is
There it
going.
is.
Jesus Christ.
You heard it
Just
here
in
first.
lifts and a fat suit. Yeah.
Oh, I think that'd be perfect.
That'd
Someone's
be
leaving a
funny.
thumbs
That'd
up
be
on
more
this video.
compelling than the last Alexa run.
Oh my God. Actually, it would be. I don't know if we'll get to Raw this week, but let's talk about AEW. Let's talk about Dynamite.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you want to talk about what you liked, or do you want to like vault into
what did I
your
love? I loved
hot take?
the Jericho and the Jobber segment. That was excellent. I really enjoyed that. The crowd was very hot for it and played along. Like, I thought it was fun. You know, like it's good to see the quick setup that felt insignificant, because Jericho being like, I'm going to go do a tune-up match against some jobber. I didn't immediately pick that up, because often there are tune-up matches against jobbers and they go as expected. And this one, I don't know this guy. He seemed like a jobber. They were chanting jobber, and then he put on a thing, and it evolved slowly, and it just didn't end. And it was nice. It was fun. I really liked it.
Action Andretti was his name.
Yeah,
like Mario
Andretti.
Andretti.
Jobber. That's such a jobber name. Like, I'm
It
sure
is.
that's what he actually works under.
It
I'm
is.
sorry, but you've chosen a terrible name. Like, how many goddamn action whatevers can exist in the world? Like, you're not an action figure. You're a human man.
So you know what's funny is that if Jericho handpicked him, there's a little bit of like weird narcissism involved, because Jericho's first name was Jack Action.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Of course Action Andretti, and he was like, there he is.
He's like, that's me when I was young, with a terrible name and a job,
and the curly fucking blonde hair. Yeah, it was a fun match. It was a good match. Listen, Jericho really has had one hell of a year. The crowd was into it. They got into this match. They got into everything that happened, and I was into it. I enjoyed it. Like, once they went to commercial, I was like, oh, Andretti's winning this match. And of course, they had the graphic queued up, and they showed the graphic afterwards on the internet. And like, listen, I'm kind of half joking, and I hope I'm wrong, but I was just like, welcome to AEW Action Andretti. We'll see you on Dark in about 3 months.
Don't. I feel bad advocating, but like, I don't think he deserves a space on the roster all of a sudden. Put him in Ring of Honor. That's fine. Don't give him the graphic.
Well, they already gave him the graphic.
What?
They already gave him the graphic. Like, right after the match, he had the graphic.
Dumb.
So
okay, whatever.
My thing with Action Andretti was just that, he's got to start somewhere. I don't think he needs to be on Dynamite or Rampage every week, but like,
no.
Doing what they did. So my favorite baseline is always Parker Boudreaux, where when they hired him, I said, yeah, he's your problem now, Tony. You're going to bury him not bury him. You're going to store him away in Orlando and break him out for dark tapings. And that's about it. And that was going to be after the Trustbusters lost in the trios tag tournament. And that's what happened. And Parker was just on the dark tapings, and he had one match on 2 sessions. So like, here we are. Action Andretti also had a match on the dark tapings. So he'll be on dark. He's 24. Let him keep evolving.
Yeah, that's good.
If he had whatever his deal is, sure. Good for him. Get the money, get the bag. I hope he can keep working. He's got to drop his MCW heavyweight championship probably on New Year's Eve, because they have a show then. And that's fine. That's good. But it was a good match. Action Andretti showed out, and that's really all that matters. Mm-hmm. Jericho was a great opponent to make him look really good. And the match itself was it was fun. I enjoyed it.
It's really great. And again, the crowd really helped. Like that, AEW crowds have been fun most of the time. It's just that sometimes with the like face heel mess can irritate me, but like lately it's been pretty strong.
So how'd you feel about MJF and Ricky Starks for the Dynamite Diamond Ring and the AEW World Championship?
I thought it was good. I was a little disappointed. I thought it was going to be a bit bigger. It was good. It was a good match. All the promos leading up to it were very strong. I don't care about the Dynamite Diamond Ring. I'm tired of hearing those words. And they really made it like crap this year by doing this like double thing. By not having it taken off of MJF. Like, they've just made it his thing. It's his brass knuckles, and it's like, I don't care.
Yeah.
So it's fine. It was fine. Like, I wasn't blown away by that match. I thought it a little bit underdelivered, but it was good. Like, it wasn't bad. So
I think my favorite thing after all this is Ricky Starks' finisher is called the Rochambeau.
Yeah,
you're familiar with Rochambeau
yeah,
from
it's just
South Park?
kicking each other in the balls. Like,
Exactly. So how does this match end? MJF hits a Rochambeau on Ricky Starks.
I'm sure did. Yeah.
So the match was fine. Match was good. I agree with you that there are better ways to use that diamond ring, and that it should be a stepping stone for somebody.
Yeah.
And Starks, honestly, like, I'm of two mindsets. One, how could you have I lost my train of thought for a second. How can you have the world title match and the diamond ring match, but how can you make your world champion still look good if he has to lose the ring?
Yeah, like it doesn't.
That was the tough part. They couldn't. He should have vacated the ring.
Yeah, like I thought
Or
the battle royal was for the maybe I'm not remembering. It was the battle royal is the last two competitors end up fighting for the ring, right? Wasn't that
that's
it?
the way it used to be.
Yeah. So why couldn't they just do that? Because then MJF just doesn't have it because he's not in it because he's the world champion and has other priorities.
Even so, if they had done the match with MJF versus Ricky Starks, one for the Dynamite Diamond Ring, Bryan Danielson comes out and costs MJF the match, or he somehow, gets MJF DQ'd, and then the Dynamite Diamond Ring still moves over to Ricky Starks. Or Starks just takes it. He's like, this is my ring now.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. They could have done something more with that. It felt like a wasted opportunity. And
that
then
being said, it's not like the stupid ring has ever done anything.
No, it is like synonymous with MJF. But at this point, like, just don't do it next year. Just forget about it. Like, you can move on.
Anyway, Danielson comes out and does the kick. What do you think?
It's Danielson. We knew it was going here. Again, I'm not that hyped for that feud. It felt it feels shitty. Like, I feel like build up Ricky Starks, keep building up Ricky Starks. You did a damn good job in this feud doing that. And then pulling in Bryan Danielson just feels like another like legends and nostalgia over everything situation. Like, I didn't think you needed to do the Danielson thing at the end of this show. Have him show up next week.
For so long.
I know. Like, just do it next week.
Well, when do they do it? They're going to do it. What, New Year's Smash? Is that going to be the match?
I don't know. I guess one of these many named Dynamites.
'Tis the season for lots of gimmicks.
Yeah, 'tis the season for arbitrary name changes.
No, they do it all the time. Come on.
Yeah, it's true. There is no season. The season is ever present.
That's right. It's not so bad. It's
just do a pay-per-view.
And you want to talk about your favorite match of the night, the opening contest? Carry on, my wayward souls.
They are wayward. So here's the thing. These matches have been tremendous. What the hell was this one? It's the same thing, but not as good. Like, we talked about how they could book this very long series of things. We mentioned, like, do a couple of quick ones because that's fine and fun. And like, you still get to keep your chops up. I get they want to, it just feels, as I mentioned to you, this just feels like extremely narcissistic booking from people in positions of power. Like, who, like, CM Punk's a douchebag, but like some of these, like, it's like the pot calling the kettle black type of thing. Like,
here, really.
Like, yeah, everyone sucks here is the situation because the Bucks are clearly like, this isn't very like giving. Like, they are eating up large segments of the show every single week to do the same thing and just be like, look at me, me, generation me. That's this. Like, it feels extremely narcissistic because, like, why did you do this one? Like, the first three were all excellent. They all had slightly different beats. This one didn't do anything except have them win with the stupid hammer again to say, and the rest of them all have gimmicks. So, it's going to 7. Like, you could have done 2 quick ones and then like built anticipation for the later ones. Like,
did you mean to make a Generation Me reference?
Yes. Yeah. That was purposeful. No. Why would anyone
stumble into this shit?
No, it's such a stupid sentence that nobody would say that otherwise because Generation Me isn't anything. Like,
it was them in TNA.
Yeah, I know it was them in TNA, which is a very TNA level name.
Oh god.
This just like it didn't add anything. Like I was enjoying this up until this, but it was a long segment followed by an awkward, weird promo at the end where you didn't have clearance to run the promo. Shut up, Kenny. Like, you're an EVP. Like, and it was just, it didn't add a damn thing. Like, it really didn't. They're now down 3-1, which they made a meal of. It's like, I don't care. Like, it's fake. Like, you're not down 3-1. You've added stipulations that are now promising to deliver something at the touring circus level. So like, people are going to expect to see those matches. They could subvert my expectations, but given how much they want to spend 30 minutes on every show showing that they can still wrestle because they had to take a few weeks off is irritating to me, because it's just like,
see, you know what this is. They did round ball rock this week, so they did the NBA theme, the NBA and NBC theme. They did that, and you know the stupid meme from like 2016, God, who blew a 3-1 lead in the NBA final. It's a sports reference. We're not sports guys. We watched hockey.
I watch MMA and I watch baseball. Like, which is,
I'm sure chat's gonna light up now, just being like 2016 was the Hawks and the Golden State Warriors or whatever it is. My point being, that's what they're doing. They're bringing this meme back from like 2016 in the NBA finals that like people are going to pop for, because people will pop for just about anything the Elite does.
Yeah. Which is like, they are good. They are good at wrestling. They are good in the ring. Most of the time they do okay. This feels extremely self-serving. Like, it's just like, you don't need 30 minutes off the top of every show to do this. Like,
Cavs and Warriors, by the way.
Yeah. Okay.
Warriors blew a 3-1 lead. That's the joke.
LeBron James involvement with the Cavaliers, I think. I don't know.
And what's even better is that this whole thing ends in the middle. Does it end in does it end on the 11th? Because if it does, that's LA. That's the Forum. That's the Golden State. It's technically San Francisco, but like you get the point. It's California.
Deep storytelling, Matt.
It's trolling at best. Yeah. That's where we're at. So yeah, it's frustrating that we're doing all this just so that the Elite wins back the Trios championships, and then House of Black immediately attacks the Elite, and we're going from there. Yeah, that's really where my problem is, where it lands with this. The Elites know who their next opponents are, and their next opponents have already said we want the Trios tag titles and we want the Elite. So you've basically told us who's winning this best of 7. And now they're like, oh shit, we have to make it interesting again because we are doing this best of 7. We're clearly going 7. So now we have to do Escalera de la Muerte in the 7th match, a no DQ match for number 5. And then what's number 6?
Ladder.
This
ladder's 7. Sorry. I don't know.
Match 5.
Last man standing, I think.
Which, I forget what it is.
How does that even work?
It's not what it is. Yeah, so it's just whatever. It's they threw all these gimmicks on now because they're like, oh, we have to, I guess. And that's it. That's just going to be the end of that whole.
And it's just like, it's so transparent because the roster is so bloated. So everything that gets time ends up forecasting what's going to happen down the road. So having the House of Black come in and do the squash against the Factory, which again is confusing because the Factory are douchebags, and like the House of Black is getting cheered like crazy. And it's like, what? Okay, so it's just a bunch of devil worshippers. Oh, falls count anywhere. So another no DQ match.
Thank you, Mod Mike.
Yeah, thank you a whole lot. Yeah, like it's just like you see where it's going and how it's taking shape because they don't have random trios matches, even though they damn well should, like, because their roster is too big and they don't have time to fit everything in a 2-hour show because Rampage already doesn't matter for some reason. Like, it's disappointing, but overall the show was good. What else happened? Stuff. Yeah.
What else happened on that show? I mean, there was just a lot of stuff. Ty Mello versus Ruby Soho.
It was fine.
It was fine.
It was fine.
And then the Mox promo was actually really good too.
Yeah,
and
quieter though. For some reason, the backstagers, the audio was quieter for me, like quite a bit.
That's been kind of a common issue that hopefully they'll be fixing because they hired a new senior VP and executive producer, co-executive producer.
Hell yeah.
Who,
okay.
Mike Mansuri, not Mansbury. Mansuri, who used to work for WWE, has a lot of experience under his belt. Yeah, cool. He was heir to the throne type of thing when he was working in WWE, and he left. He left about a year ago. I think he worked as an EP for Pat McAfee's show as well. So he has the experience. He has the drive to do this. And it's exciting.
Yeah.
This week was his first week at TV, but he wasn't working on TV. Like, he was observing, which thank God for that. Cause like, take your time. Don't just jump in and change everything.
Yeah.
Feels like once they go, maybe the January 4th show in Seattle would be his like big first show under his belt. And I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to any positive changes that come to AEW, especially to Dynamite and the production, because they could use it. We talked about this plenty of times. There are certain things that could be just made better. Wrestling is good. Things. Yeah, the wrestling's honestly good. It's all about the production styles. That's what I want to see. And then Brian Cage and Jungle Jack had a good match.
They really did. Yeah, that was excellent. They're doing a good job, like bringing out Brian Cage, rebuilding them. Same with Jack Perry. They're moving him up into a less dorky gimmick. It's good. They're really evolving him. Yeah,
he is now Jungle Young Adult.
Pretty much,
as we say. Let's get out of here. It's been over an hour. Tim, where can the people find you on the internet?
Instagram, TIMBSTONEP. Twitter's a shithole. Run while you can.
It is. That being said, we're at Fightful Overbooked, FightfulOverbooked.com, YouTube.com/Fightful Overbooked, dropping content every single day. And yes, I mean it, every day. If we don't, there's a serious problem. Someone's going to get chewed out. I'm at Joel Pearl, JOELPEARL. Ladies and gentlemen, friends beyond the binary. We will see you in the next one. Cheers.